There is no way that Dalton Olson could not have known about the death and disappearance of his son. I believe that he is involved in Samuel's death and disappearance. Teresa is his girlfriend, and there are just too many gaps in his story that just is not adding up, and it does not make any sense. April 30th was the last day that Samuel Olson attended school. And according to Samuel's father, Samuel had been staying at his girlfriend's house since April the 30th. If Samuel Olson was living with Dalton's girlfriend and she was living with a roommate, where was Dalton? I heard that they were going through this custody battle. And why would you get your child if you don't have a place for the child to stay? Now that doesn't make any sense, and that doesn't sound like a man. I mean, when I look at Dalton Olson, he looks like a spineless jellyfish. So there's no telling what type of arrangement that was all about. To whereas you have your son living with a woman that you're dating, and you know how women are by children that are not theirs. Some women are loving and some women aren't loving. This woman has a history of being incarcerated. So why would you do this? That's why I believe that Dalton had something to do with his child's death. And they tried to cover it up, but they didn't succeed. On May 28th, Balboa's roommate told detectives that Samuel died on or around May 10th. He said Balboa called him at work that day to tell him Samuel was dead. The roommate said when he returned home to their apartment in Webster, he saw Samuel's bruised body lying on a bed. And he said he and Balboa placed the body in a bathtub for a couple of days. What type of roommate is this? Somebody gonna call you your roommate and say, hey, I done killed this child. And you gonna get home and help her wrap the child up and put it in a bathtub, and y'all gonna live in a house with a deceased child's body in it for 2 days that you saw had been abused. You say you saw bruises on the child's body. I just don't know what the hell is wrong with individuals these days. The roommate told police he went to Walmart and bought a plastic bin and duct tape. The receipt was found during the investigation. He said he and Balboa wrapped Samuel's body in a plastic sheet and put it in the bin. Did these people have something against Dalton Olson? I mean, how could you do another person's child like this? Is this roommate and Balboa really dating? I just don't understand the arrangement in this relationship. Houston police received a call at approximately 6 p.m. that then 5-year-old Samuel was missing from Southwest Houston. Houston police officers interviewed Dalton Olson, Samuel's father, and Teresa Balboa, Dalton's girlfriend. Balboa, 29, told them Samuel's mother and a man dressed as a police officer picked him up that morning around 7 a.m. Balboa said the officer told her she would be charged with kidnapping if she didn't turn him over. Now, she says this happened at 7 a.m., but she did not call authorities until 6 p.m. And again, where was Dalton? HPD Assistant Chief Heather Miller said multiple family members were questioned and there were several inconsistencies in Balboa's story. Homicide detectives were assigned to the case. If they reported the child missing on the 27th, but you have people saying that the child was killed on the 10th, where was Dalton for those 10 days? He didn't know his child was missing? That's why I don't understand this living arrangement to whereas Teresa's staying in the house with a roommate. Never mentioned that Dalton was living in the place. And it never mentions what Dalton was during the time of his son's non-reported disappearance. So it is something real fishy going on these days with people just killing their children. And they're always giving these charges of tampering with evidence. Reminds me of this Malia Davis. Child come up missing, and the only charge they got is tampering with evidence. What about the murder? What actually happened to the child? No one is trying to find it out, and I just believe in that Malia Davis case, all the guilty parties are not in prison. And the same thing just may happen with this Samuel Olson case. The father is not squeaky clean. I mean, any parent can feel their child. And you just cannot tell me that he did not feel his child in distress on the 10th. He should have known something. And why didn't you ask questions? Okay, what my child? How is he doing? You didn't ask to speak with your child for a whole 17 days? And you have the nerve to go in front of the media and co-sign that story that Teresa said about your ex-wife coming to get the child. Whether that's something you wanted to believe or not, I just cannot believe while a child was in your care, you let this happen to him. You are involved. And yes, this woman did it, but Dalton is equally as guilty. Now the question comes up to why the child was killed and how the child was killed. And did Dalton know about it? You know, when people do these type of crimes, there should not be a prison sentence. This should be an automatic death penalty. These children, they cannot defend themselves. And they are relying upon the protection of the adults around them, which are their parents. Whatever the reason this woman may give for killing a then 5-year-old child is just unacceptable. And those roommates that assisted, they should do the same amount of time. Because they should not have assisted her. Hey, sometimes you have to let your friends go down by yourself. I mean, the way they're describing this lady is she's some type of whore. She got Dalton. She got the roommate. She even called some other man up. All these different men she got strung along, helping her commit crimes that are going to get all of them locked up. The police will not just come to your house and take your child just on what they are saying. There has to be a court order. And when that happens, it won't be the police to come out. So this lady's attempt to, you know what, like I said, I just keep pointing back to Dalton. He's one ignorant wimp of a man. Because I want to hear his reason as to why he did not see his child for those 10 days. When you dropped him off from school to this woman's house, up until now, the child is missing. You haven't seen your child. Where were you? I mean, he looks like a damn meth head. If HPD does the right thing, Balboa, Dalton, and those accomplices will all be in prison. If HPD does the wrong thing, Balboa will be the only one taking a rap for this heinous crime. Children's protection is being taken away from them, from the real parents. And when you think about it, if you can't trust your parents, who can you trust?